Nigerians should thank Tinubu for his courage, sacrifices in transforming the economy. Governor Otti. Governor Otti, sure you want the wine us? Or because you think that Nigerians like you cannot be telling us some things that do not make sense and you want us to still clap for you. Which person should we thank? Thank him for what? Courage, sacrifice. Which sacrifices did he make? I beg no the wine us. Abia State Governor Lesotho has defended President Bola Tinubu's economic reform, saying the economic hardship Nigerians are experiencing stem from years of poor policy decision rather than the president's action. That's a lie. The Abia State that you are governing, were they not suffering for the longest time? They had so many issues and you have been there for just 4 years now. Abia many years. And you've done excellently well in their states. In Abia State. So why can't the president to do something meaningful that Nigerians can see? Why are you always complaining that, the hardship that Nigerians are experiencing have stemmed from years of poor policy? But that same poor policy was in Abia State and you have transformed it in just 4 years. Though we know that the country is too big, but at least do one thing that somebody can pinpoint to that, the president did this thing and it's benefiting Nigerians today. Probably just electricity. If they can just solve electricity issue in this country, at least some things will get better to an extent. Do that. So that Nigerians can pinpoint that, President Tinubu has solved light problem. There is no longer light issue in this country. He cannot do that. You are telling us he transformed. Which transform? Who they want also? What made the remarks on Tuesday while receiving First Lady Tinubu, who was in Abia to celebrate the state's accredited living heritage. The governor asked the First Lady to convey his appreciation to President Tinubu for what he described as his bold leadership. I want to also plead with you to take your felicitations to His Excellency, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu, he said. I want to please thank him, thank him for his courage, thank him for the sacrifices. Some people may not understand. We don't understand. And we don't want to understand. It takes a man with courage to do what he did in 2023, remove petroleum subsidy and follow suit with the floating of the naira. Now, so which naira they float? If they float like this, I beg. According to Otti, the removal of fuel subsidy and the floating of the naira have freed up more resources for the federal, state, and local governments. What has that done? That has freed up a lot of funds that would have been used in financing consumption to doing other things in the federal government, in the state, and in the local government, he said. As you said, they talk, you go not say na lie, you dey lie. And today, a lot of states are not owing salaries. A lot of states are able to build infrastructure. A lot of states are able to empower people to produce rather than consume. Which state is producing? While acknowledging that the transform has caused short-term pain, Otti insisted they were necessary for long-term economic recovery. Love you start be lying to yourself. Now, make no mistakes about it. Every courageous decision, every courageous action has its own consequences. So if you remove subsidy and if you float the naira, it will take its toll, and over time the economy will begin to correct, he added. So what you see that people interpret as hardship today as a fallout of previous bad behavior. I beg, Lesotho, don't let us get angry, I beg. I know there's nonsense with the hardship in the country, don't mind him. Prince Ola says Governor Otti is not hiding his support for President Tinubu. It's only obedience that's not seeing the handwriting on the wall. You are the one that is an idiot, Prince Ola. That Otti would come to APC. Bye-bye to him now. Before general election. He should be going there now. Who is holding him? Even on fair election, and Kwakwanso is only planning on 2031 election. Even there is nothing to argue about. Just let us hold on to the next general election, and I want his comment to be kept for future reference. Simple as ABC. You're talking rubbish. Love the replies him and says, yes, because obedience are far more sensible than a degenerated fool with an empty brain like you. In your sheer stupidity and folly, you cannot point to a single thing that Tinubu has done to deserve another term. Nothing. All of them that are supporting Tinubu, there is nothing they can prepare to. Nothing. Somebody went on the street the other day and was asking those papas and mamas on the road, They say they will vote for Tinubu. Oh, yeah, tell us what Tinubu has done for you. What have you benefited? What has he actually done that you can pinpoint to and say, Tinubu did this? They cannot say anything. Foolish people. You just appear out of nowhere to declare that he has done already. You're an absolute imbecile, spewing a fascist and cretinous ideology. It is asinine, factors, and completely inane that you cannot market your preferred candidate based on natural achievements. Hey, fool. Foolish people. Obi Chapo says, Otti, just focus on the good work you are doing for your people. And don't let that failure of your man caught in to dent your good work. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, you see the way Abians are happy whenever they see you. That's because you are doing your job perfectly well. If Tinubu were to emulate your style of leadership, you no go need campaign or sharing rights and money. Please refrain from brandishing failures on Nigerians. Thank you. Don't come and lie to us here and be telling us that so person is this, is that, is performing. It's not performing anything. It's not performing anything. And that besides, I don't blame you because you are receiving free money from subsidy now. Why won't you talk like this? Because V3 said, you mean Nigerians should thank Tinubu for boosting the economy and lavishing it on your family? Now wow. Because Victor says, I like you before, but you are selling a very rotten egg. Marketing Tinubu is worse than selling rotten egg. I'm telling you. Below Buniam says, I don't think that this man said all this, but if it is true that he said it, I'll say that he's not what we think that he is. It means that he's desperate to be in power. Physically said, economic transformation could be in either positive or negative transformation. It simply means changing from one direction to other. What's happening in Nigeria is glaring. Everyone can see it. Everything in Nigeria has been transformed by Tinubu. Government, insecurity from bad to worse, judiciary from justice to injustice, INEC from fairness to compromising, hospital from healing to slaughtering room, police, DSS, military from strength to weakness, economic from management to mismanagement. Well, that's the way to go about it. That's another way to look at it. And he's transforming the country in a negative light, not in the positive light. Somebody said, I think the speech of Mr. Otti here is using it is actually diplomatic and ironic, but you guys don't just understand the opposite direction of what he's actually talking about. Everybody knows that during the regime of this government, everything go high. It is in this government the poor can no longer afford a cup of rice. Hardship in the higher side. Try to understand Mr. Otti from ironical opposite direction. Well, let's just look at it that way, that he's saying that, he has transformed the country in a bad way. So let's just leave it like that. My listeners, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Thank you for listening. See you some other time. Bye.